Happy Pride from the Roll for Focus crew. In honor of Pride, at the end of the month, we'll be donating half of all the profits we make and any extra donations y'all want to give to the Transgender Education Network of Texas. Being Texas-based ourselves, we wanted to try and do what we could to help our neighbors. TENT is the largest BIPOC, trans-led, trans-focused policy, education, and advocacy organization in Texas. And they have worked to help file over 145 proactive bills to enrich Texan lives and provide the community with food, safe spaces, workshops, and counseling support. So if you've been thinking about getting some of our dope merch or thinking about joining our Patreon, there's no better time than now. Or if you just want to donate to us on Ko-fi. Check out TENT at transtexas.org and have a happy Pride.
Welcome back. Our party has long rested, waking up. I'm sure Bo has created a lovely breakfast.
Absolutely. There's a few different options to choose from.
And I feel like with how Bo is with Desire, it's like she's barely up and out of her bedroll before he's just there with her morning tea or coffee or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whatever it is that she prefers to drink in the morning.
Doesn't even open her eyes and she's reaching for it.
Just kind of knows to reach over and there it'll be. with him like kneeling there.
I don't know about kneeling.
Well, just to get down.
It might be like a bend over.
Just to get down to her level because she's like still in her bedroll in this hypothetical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Above board, just for the listeners' edification, is it romantic styles?
I mean, they're not together.
Yeah.
Not officially, no. Granted, again, Bo is A-okay being in a relationship, but he's not gonna...
Is in Bo's mind, are they in a relationship?
No, again, he'd love to, but it has to be stated, and he hasn't...
He hasn't asked, she hasn't said, because there would be no asking. It's just like, we're together now. Okay!
Yeah. And... Yeah, no, there's this, again, the feeling that she can't just be tied down to one person. Like, she's allowed to be free and do whatever she wants, so it feels weird.
To be like, can we also kiss sometimes, though?
But what if we also kiss, too?
But, like, hey, he would make a great husband.
Great house husband.
Yeah.
The himbo house husband.
The Triple H.
Isn't that a wrestler?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
I don't follow wrestling. That falls under sports ball for Cody. Cody doesn't fuck with that. I don't know.
My parents used to buy me wrestling, like, action figures, and that was, like, the only dude that I had.
Why?
Because I don't know. That's the only one I remember. I also cut his plastic hair off because I hated it. He had long plastic hair, so I just chip, 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 chip.
Good lord. Anyway.
After that weird fun factoid about Mars.
So yes, breakfast is had.
Treats are given.
Another long, elaborate skin routine for Desire for her day face.
Gotta get all that makeup and whatnot on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Desire, I feel like, is this sort who'd like, oh, I can share my skin routine. And it's like, I just, like, soap my face, like, every other night and go to bed.
The horror. Erase all her fears. That's her fear. Terrible skin
splash
routine.
your face and call it good?
No.
Oily skin.
That's what I do.
Feathers.
That's the only one that doesn't get a horrific response. It's like, yeah, you're not built for what I do to my skin.
Why do I feel like Bo also because of Desire's?
It's like the longer they've adventured together, it's like you use just like these wipes every night, dear, before you go to bed. Okay.
Just runs it across his face, calls it good.
And then do this after that. Just like slowly adding to his regimen as well. Knows to keep it simple. Like he can do complicated things, but also knows he doesn't care enough to do all the complicated stuff. So it's like, just do this and then you can go to bed.
No, because you get him to do all that thing, and then it's just the next day he's got his hands in the dirt, like digging up something for something. Like this dude was raised to just,
Well, that's hands. She's talking about your face.
you smudge a little bit or something, you scratch your face and get dirt on it. Like, it's fine.
But yes, it's quite a bit of a long walk. You have to get back to where you came from and then go the other half of the way there, going through the forest where you do not get lost.
Thank you, Ranger.
Thank you, Bo.
Yeah.
And as the forest gives way to sort of a long stretch of moorland, Adelaide starts to explain as kind of evening hits. She starts to explain that we're here to visit a shrine of sorts. My second love, Yaniv, a sorcerer that I adventured with early on, she died in that crypt that's up ahead, sacrificing herself to keep a rather nasty thing locked away.
Puts a hand sympathetically on Adelaide's arm.
So I apologize, no parties this time, but...
I mean, if you want to throw an elaborate
Celebration
offering,
of life.
exactly, to honor her memory, we can do that, of course.
But no, it was a little shrine. There was a memorial stone. I just want to have that moment.
Of course.
This was one of the main things I wanted you all to be here for, God-wise. It is a crypt. There's bound to be undead, and we did lock something here quite a long while. It is securely locked up, but, echoes.
Mm-hmm. Well, anything undead related I should be able to handle reasonably well. Kind of gives her holy symbol a squeeze.
You all travel down a winding track that twists between fallen iron gates, crumbling headstones, capped off with layers of snow. Howling wind shrieks through the moor. Laid low in the soft earth, there's broken statues of fallen angels and the like. It just looks like an abandoned graveyard. Everyone may make either a perception check or what's your passives?
My passive is a 16.
So if you think you're actively looking around, roll. If not, I'm going to go with your passives.
Oh.
I rolled a 13, which is a little better than my passive.
And I rolled a 12, which is one less than my passive.
I also got a 12.
Which is a lot less than your passive.
Yeah.
But yes, as you kind of look around, you see all about kind of crude trinkets are scattered around the gravestones, stick figures made out of twigs, and small cairns balanced at odd angles.
And we all pick those out?
All of you pick it up.
Huh.
Yeah, Desire does kind of squint, kind of head tilt at the odd balanced cairns, but isn't going to touch any of them. It's just like, that's odd. Even more reason not to touch them, frankly.
Somebody put some effort into making them those shapes.
Mm-hmm.
But you head into the center of the cemetery to the crypt. It's just a large, imposing granite structure, Gothic style, rusting iron gate, weeping statues of seraphim kneel at either side of the entrance, and on the door a knotted length of rope slick in some sort of slime has been wrapped around the handle of the gate to hold it shut, even as it rattles loudly with the wind.
That looks gross.
That does look awful, frankly, and Desire kind of
I wonder
pulls
what it is.
her rapier out to kind of reach and poke at it, because she doesn't want to touch the slime.
I can
But-
touch it.
It's like, that's...
Could you make me a dexterity saving throw?
Oh, no.
No.
What did you
I
do?
don't know. I poked a gross rope. 14.
Doesn't pass. So
Oh, jeez.
so close. It was a DC 15.
Of course.
As soon as you start moving towards it, the rope uncoils and takes on the appearance of a poisonous snake, and it just latches on in to your hand and gives you a nice little bite.
I've got the interception fighting style. Can I block that?
Oh, yeah.
I can reduce the damage technically.
All right, let's see how much damage. 1.
Okay, I reduced
think
it
you
1d10 plus proficiency.
So at minimum, that's 4.
So yeah, you block all of it, and because it gets blocked, I'm gonna say you're not poisoned for the next hour.
Good. 'Cause that would have sucked. So yeah, Desire reaches to kind of poke it with her rapier, and right as she's about to make contact, it lashes out. But thankfully, Pallas is right there to
Kinda jumps in with her shield.
shoves her shield between them. It's like, oh goodness, that's awful. Thank you, Pallas. What by Layla is that?
You're welcome.
Oh, it looked like a snake.
It did.
We'll kind of cautiously bend, not within hopefully striking range, to better inspect it.
Yeah, I would also like to eyeball it from a safe distance.
Yeah, go ahead and make Arcana checks. Or nature checks.
Ooh, can I make a nature check?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, I rolled a nat 1.
That's a 13 Arcana check.
I don't know, snakes? A rope?
I got a 9 in nature.
Okay, so, Bo, you don't know every animal in the world, but you don't know about any snake that can look like a rope. Weird animal, man.
It's a rope snake.
Again, hog noses, they just flip over and pretend to be dead. This one, it's like, and now I'm a rope. I'm a snake, and now I'm a rope.
I was alive, and now I'm dead.
I'm alive again. I'm dead again.
I'm a snake, I'm a rope. Pallas.
There's a snake in my
you-
rope. Anyway.
What?
There's a snake in my rope. Anyway.
Pallas, no idea.
Yeah.
And Desire, you also are like, maybe magic? Doubt it's natural, but...
I think ultimately we just leave that alone on the ground and keep going.
That's not something you put here, was that?
No, not... my memory isn't the best nowadays, but I don't recall that, no.
Alright, yeah, then I say we can just leave it there.
But at
Maybe
least
it'll
it's
slither off.
off the gate now.
Yes.
Yes, after that's off the gate, rather easy to just
Open it.
open it, walk on in, and there's a little bit of entrance, but pretty quickly you just see a collapsed stairwell, and in that moment you hear whispers, soft and oddly soothing, echo up this narrow staircase made from thick tombstone slabs. The lower half appears to have collapsed some time ago. Sodden earth seeps through the cracks in the stonework. Only a narrow crack remains that will allow you access to the next.
Yeah, the minute Desire sees this little tiny crawl space that they're gonna have to go through, she's immediately just like tensing up because yay, claustrophobia.
Hearing the whispers, Pallas would like to do their divine sense, which as an action I can open my awareness to detect or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover, as well as detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated.
Yes, with that you sense both fiend and undead.
Ooh, lovely. Kind of, I think, pauses and puts out a hand for everybody else to pause, like, Lady Adelaide, what was here exactly?
Just a quite awful being. I can't say for sure what it was. We were more concerned with stopping it than identifying it.
Understandable. I can sense both fiend and undead. Your protections might be holding, but just to be aware that...
Yes. And the undead was expected to an extent.
Being an old
Though the
crypt,
combined
yes.
is less than ideal.
But yes, with might be, again, nothing, but just be on the lookout.
Noted.
Definitely good to stay aware, yes.
You start heading down. It'll have to be single file, most likely, because it's very narrow.
Fun. How You said desire.
Oh, yeah, she already looks like she's straight up not having a good time.
Buck would automatically hold out his hand for you to hold.
And Desire would take it, kind of give it a little
Aw.
squeeze. But yeah, the tight space is making her not happy.
Okay, I think with Desire not looking too great and feeling or sensing this stuff, she's going to cast protection from evil and good on Desire just in case, especially with the whisper stuff still going on. I don't trust this.
As you descend down the stairwell, the whispers grow louder, and at first it's just, not really solid, but then you start hearing Desire and Pallas and Adelaide, Bo, and it's just their names now and then you start hearing things like Marzi, Yaniv, Lynessa, Kala.
Oh, she's kind of tensing up. Does not like this.
Desire's frown is deepening, and her hand on Buck's is probably tightening.
It's all right. All good.
She only has a 12 in strength. It's not going to hurt that bad.
But once you get down to where it is, the whispers are still happening, but now you need to go through a tiny little place.
Okay. Pallas will offer go first because obviously we're not sending Adelaide first, and then Desire is having issues, and Buck is helping her.
Yeah. Buck can follow after you, and then at least try to talk
Desire
through.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll squeeze the fat little bird body down there.
It's mostly just feather plumage.
Yeah. No, it just takes time over.
Oh, gotta hold your breath here.
My joints aren't what they used to be.
Her hip's still a little tweaked from yesterday.
Stupid tripwire.
Freaking Tribba.
Go ahead as you enter the outer chambers. What happens is the whispers grow to a crescendo.
Oh.
And at first it's just really loud and kind of hard to decipher. Mm-hmm. But then you hear it take on a very knowable voice of Marzi.
Oh, goody.
And you hear Marzi going, Pallas, why would you do this to me? You know it's not happy. You know whatever is on the surface isn't what's true. Why do you turn a blind eye? Why don't you help me? Why didn't you help me?
Oh.
Could you give me a charisma saving throw?
Oh, I like this. Well, that's actually an 18 on the dice plus 6.
All right.
24.
You're still shaken
I
up.
didn't hear what you said.
24.
24, thank you.
You're still very shaken up, but you are not in any way mechanically affected.
Okay, just take a deep breath, trying to center herself and be like, nope. Not Marzi, that is not Marzi. All right,
And I feel like it's a little duller from where you guys are, but you could hear like a distinct voice, clearly distressed and almost shouting at Pallas.
Lovely.
the voices seem to get worse in here, just be aware.
All right.
Bo, you're up next.
I'll just be on the other side.
All right. Kind of gives his hand one last squeeze before reluctantly letting him go.
Yeah. And I'll work my way through.
You work through, you get to the outer chamber, and Anku overwhelming builds to a crescendo, and then it takes on a distinct one voice that you know to be Kala, of just going, why didn't you come with me? Why didn't you want to stay with me? I loved you, Bo, and you just didn't come with me. You eventually left, so I know it wasn't that. Was I just not good enough? Go ahead and make a charisma saving throw.
Jesus, that wasn't the reason.
We'll put a hand on Buck's shoulder.
Oh, it's a nat 20 for a 21.
Oh, nice!
Yeah, you manage. It's not, again, it affects you how it affects you, but you are not mechanically affected.
It's all right. It's all right.
I told you I wasn't ready to go.
Aside to the disembodied.
Yeah.
Now it's Desire, and my first thing I'm gonna do for you is, unlike these two, you do have to make a roll to resist some fear.
No, yeah. She kind of takes a deep breath and, like, it's not going to be eyes closed through the whole crevice, but she does kind of close her eyes for the first step into it as she slowly starts.
And for DC, 14 is what's coming to my mind.
Can I offer the help action as I am talking her through?
Yes, and what I'll say is if you fail this, basically you're going to have your charisma save at disadvantage if you fail. That's going to be the only thing, just because you're so shaken from...
Yeah.
Depending on what the charisma says for, Desire can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed.
It's my own self, though. It's not from one
the
of
charisma
the...
saving throw part.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's not really a fighting effect or anything, so...
Well, fuck. Okay.
The pip goes on the bottom. So that is a 15.
All right.
Took me a moment to figure out if it was a 9 or a 6, but...
All right, so 15 total?
Yes.
Meets it, beats it.
I thought you said 14.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah, that's not that was the charisma save is a 15.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, you're
that was just me being afraid of bugs and small spaces.
Yeah, you don't like it.
I don't like it. I'm straight up not having a good time, bro.
But as you get out, you hear a voice going, again, the crescendo, but eventually resolving into one voice. Desire, why? We were best friends. We did everything together, and you just left me behind. I wasn't ready, and you just called me afraid and left and never looked back. You haven't contacted me, nothing. You don't even think of me. You just left. That's what you do. You leave people. Go ahead and charisma save.
$25.
You pass.
Nice.
You still really don't like it.
Yeah, it was still really upsetting, and I think once she's finally free, it's just like immediately gives Buck just a really tight hug.
Yeah.
Just kind of puts her face in his chest for a minute.
She'll hug back. Rocks back and forth, apparently.
We'll gently pat Desire on the kind of like the back a little bit.
That's really good. None of you have to have a level of exhaustion.
Oof.
Yikes.
That'd be rough.
Well, yeah. Ugh. So much for the protection from evil and good.
Appreciate the attempt. Who knows? It lasts for an hour. We're not out of here yet.
Up to 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes. We're not out of here yet. I don't know why I thought that one was an hour.
Well, we got 10 minutes.
Yeah, because we
got like 8 more minutes.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But yes, then Lady Adelaide comes through, and knowing to be ready for it and whatnot, suddenly, and she knew exactly whose voice it was gonna be. She hears Yaniv, what you can assume to be Yaniv.
Yeah.
Going, you abandoned me here, Adelaide. You said you loved me and you left me here. And Adelaide doesn't put up with that shit. Like, almost right away, it's just like, Yaniv would never say such a thing. Like, right away, to the point where she has said steadfast that the adventure even says, doesn't even have to make the roll because she just knows her girlfriend.
It's fair.
Aw.
Comes out, none of you like this.
No.
She does go, are you all okay?
Yes.
Desire kind of straightens herself up, kind of puts the mask back on a little bit. It's like, we're fine, Lady Adelaide.
Yeah.
Where is the shrine now from here?
Just past there, that little... And you see that there is like a connecting chamber.
Okay.
Kind of where the E, F, and G is. Mm-hmm. And as you start approaching closer and closer,
F-E-G. Fig.
Getting real close to some slurs there. This is Pride Month. We don't slur in Pride Month.
we'll be claiming it!
Only one of us can do that. He doesn't like using that word.
Nope. I very much dislike that word.
But as you all start approaching E, I'll first describe it, and then I'm gonna have you guys make me some rolls.
Fantastic.
That sounds like a threat.
It is.
Charm, frightened, or possession, at least.
So beyond this sort of archway into the next area is a larger chamber, part of a larger room that has collapsed a long time ago. probably what Yaniv gave her life for. There's a small side alcove lies to the north and the south, and several long, looted stone coffins litter the place. And Pallas, you suddenly can't move.
Uh-oh.
You are paralyzed.
Oh, no.
Desire, bugs all over you. You feel them, you see them, you smell them, you hear the little...
Immediately.
So do you just rip your-
No.
And as her hand goes away from you, Bo, and you start... and she starts shaking, you suddenly are just alone. No one's with you. Adelaide disappeared. Desire, Pallas, everyone is gone. Could you all make me wisdom saves?
Maybe?
No.
That's a 9.
See, this one isn't technically a frightened effect. Like, it's flavored, like, oh, you're scared of your thing, but it's not like you don't have the frightened condition.
Oh, well. Okay, I got a 12.
I got a 21.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, 12 is the meets it beats it. I'm still debating for desire, because again, this isn't a frightened effect. If you fail, you're just shaken, and for the next 10 minutes, ability checks on attack rolls are made with disadvantage.
What did you roll?
A 9.
Oh.
I'm gonna say because the spell is specifically frightened as the mechanical condition. So, yes, desire, you fully believe these bugs are real.
So she's just like shaking. She's brushing her body off. She is straight up not having a good time, bro.
And Pallas, you eventually you're like, oh, I can move. I'm fine. And Bo, you start being aware of everyone again, including Desire just...
panicking. Borderline panic attack right now.
Are you like saying anything about the bugs, or is it just
kind of like,
screeching?
get him off me, get him off me, get him off me. Kind of, yeah, just freaking out.
It just kind of grabs your shoulders and it's just like, there's nothing there, you're okay.
And I'm gonna say, with that kind of grounding presence, it is helped by the hand. Like, you're still affected and you're still shaken, but you know that what you were just feeling is not real. Slowly, it's like, oh, I don't really feel them, now I don't smell them.
The smelling is the worst fucking part, frankly. Something about that specifically is horrifying.
The smell of bugs.
The fact there's so many on you, you can just smell the fucking carrot. Ugh.
Taste them.
All the senses were engaged.
And none of them were good, yeah. So it's just kind of like, I feel like the initial hands on her, like, almost make her jump as well. And it's a half-hearted, not actually shoving Bo away, but her hands do kind of push out, but then that's also just kind of helps, and then she just grabs onto his shirt really tight as she starts coming back to herself, and it's just this wild, fearful eyes as she finally looks up. It's like, okay, thank you, Buck. Kind of gives a little pat on the chest.
How's Adelaide doing?
Adelaide looks a little shaken, but not...
So messed up like Desire and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. You all right, Desire?
I think so, yes.
Well, that was very unpleasant.
You're very unpleasant.
Jesus. What the fuck?
From the F section, you see an old woman that you immediately clock as a hag.
Oh.
Coming out. This is my home and you're trespassing.
Surprise!
Yeah, it takes Desire a moment just after all of that and being faced with a hag, and it's just like, we're sorry, we're not meaning to trespass. Just our friend here wanted to revisit an old shrine.
Kind of looks over, and in the G area, the northern alcove, she came from the southern one, there seems to be a small makeshift shrine that looks kind of vandalized.
Aw.
Good.
Which Adelaide is not happy about, but also like, there's a hag living here, that probably...
Explains it.
Yeah.
Also, before we continue, what do I get for failing that wisdom save again?
Next 10 minutes, all ability checks and attack rolls are made at disadvantage.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
But she does look, she sees what you mean. Goes, Adelaide's already kind of going over there and kind of frowns and, like, she isn't completely approaching because she doesn't want to piss off the hag, but she does kind of frown and look back. She looks at it, she kind of looks over and she frowns and she goes, "Where's your Neve's memorial stone?" "Oh, yes, the stone. It was pretty. It's in my nest." She looks
dear.
furious.
Yeah.
We don't want to run you out or take anything from here. We just want our friend to say her goodbyes
And the stone, if possible.
and return that to where it belongs.
This is my home.
Yes.
Wait.
Maybe I should make a sign. Get out. This is what Gramel does.
That would probably be helpful.
It's a nice place. There's so many old memories and nightmares here that's very tasty. And this identifies Grimelda as a night hag.
Oh. Lovely. We would just need a few minutes for our friend to be able to pay her respects, and we can carry the stone back. You don't have to move it yourself, if that's what you're comfortable with.
I can... How about a deal?
What sort of deal?
Very simple. I just would like some nightmares.
Nightmares?
Yes, you can access the shrine, but if you want the stone, I need your nightmares.
What do you mean by our nightmares?
She takes out a jar that has just these wriggling black shape. Just provide me with one of your greatest fears. You'll have to experience it. It'll be very vivid, but it will be real fear and it will be a nice snack. And then you can have both the stone and passage till morning. Nothing will come to harm you in my area because it is my home. Grimelda's home.
And your area covers from here back up to the doorway out?
Yes, it's all mine.
Can I insight that?
Yes.
With disadvantage, but it's fine. Oh, I got double 18s on the dice. So
Nice.
2 and... That's a 28. Because I also got max on my guidance.
I got 10.
Yeah. She definitely really only hangs here past the collapsed stairwell, but she does truly believe this entire crypt to be her domain.
Okay.
And she does mean the safety. She does intend on that. It's just I technically only hang out here. But yes, all this crypt is mine.
Fair enough.
I didn't even think that far.
Could you give us a moment to talk among ourselves?
But what exactly... What does it do to us if we give you a nightmare, aside from having to experience it to give it to you? Because Desire just wants to know, like, yeah, are we losing the memory of it? Can you control us with it? Do we revisit that every time you feed on it? Like, what's the consequence of this long term?
Good questions.
There is none. She's just hungry.
Which, if that's the case, that's fine.
I mean, it'd be great if we lost it, and just didn't have to experience it again.
No, it will be very real when you experience it to give it to me. Very real. And I don't think anything else happens to mortals when I do this. Usually they give it to me and they go. I don't know if there's any long-term effect, but...
That is fair.
As far as I know, nothing physical happens to you. Though I suppose it's possible that when I feed on it, maybe you'll have a slight sense of discomfort, but I don't know. People don't come back and tell me.
Fair enough.
And here I've just been feeding off dead people's nightmares.
Huh.
They don't have much to say about that.
Oh, yes. Now we'll take that.
If you don't mind, excuse us for a moment.
She just
And they
slinks
better
back
be
into the
real
shadows.
fears. Yeah, she just slinks back into her nest.
We kind of retreat, I think, back to the
Yeah.
other antechamber, basically. How does everybody feel about this?
I'm willing to give any... I know I just wanted to see her shrine, but I would very much like...
To write it back to how it's supposed to be,
Yes.
yes.
You know, when we leave, she'd probably take it again.
I can carry it out if you want.
I'm fine with it staying here, and if she did it again, that's fine, but to properly say goodbye to her, I want it as it should be. It may seem silly, I'm sure.
No,
It's not silly at all.
It's more than understandable. You want to give her the right respect she's due.
Yes.
Pallas was just more so checking in, like, you're not going to, like, drive yourself crazy on thinking, oh, the hag is taking it away again.
No. I'm realistic to know that it probably will not last. Perhaps she'll feel some honor-bound thing with a deal to...
Possibly.
I don't have any sort of glue sticky spell to, like, make it stay. Oh, does anybody have meld stone? Maybe we can, like, melt the things together?
No,
No.
not really my vibe of spells. Actually, I don't even think I can learn that spell.
Ranger dude?
I mean, if something's broken, I can mend
Mend it, but
that's
not
about
meld
it.
into stone, yeah. Or stone shape.
No.
Yeah, whatever the spell's called. All right.
But
If we're all willing, and she sounds... I'd rather us not spend the night down here.
but
I mean, we could spend it up top.
as close to the entrance as we can without being out in the snow, yes. But still having a semblance of an agreement of safety is good to have in place. We'll just definitely need to be on a watch schedule tonight.
Very much. Again, the more distance, I feel, is the safer. And she did confirm that all of this is her territory. You have to be careful with words from hags and fae and fiends, things like that.
But I'm willing to give a nightmare as well.
Is everybody willing, Buck?
I can do it.
All right. Because I don't know if there's any guarantee if somebody else was to give up to it, extend the entire protection. We might all have to do so to get the protection.
If I were in her spot, that would be a caveat I would put into play as well.
But might not mention if she wants to hurt.
No, yes.
All right. Looking at it, we'll just, make sure to clarify that what exactly we're getting and giving up. But if we're all in agreement of doing so,
Yes.
I am willing to go first unless somebody else would rather just try to get
I
it.
can go first. I'm the one asking you all to do this. I might as well.
If you'd like, Lady Adelaide, but we are here to help you.
Kind of nods, and as you all turn back, Vamelda kind of comes out of her little nest and goes, well?
We agree to each of us to give you one nightmare in exchange for our safety through the night in here until the next morning when we may leave and returning the stone to its shrine for the proper moment for a few minutes to pay the respects.
Very good, very good. Smiles and kind of comes up. Lady Adelaide puts her hand on it. She, doesn't look comfortable. She remains as stately as she can, but she is actively experiencing a nightmare.
What does she put her hand on?
The jar.
Oh, okay.
And there's a new black squiggle in the jar as she gives her nightmare, and then she gestures to you. Since you said you were willing, Pallas.
Okay.
Since you said that you were willing to go next.
Yeah, Pallas will go over there. I don't like the jar with the black things. It makes me think of leeches.
Yeah. It's just a jar of ichor leeches. Anyway.
Sounds horrifying.
It does.
Surprise!
Euphoric
It was
hag.
the same universe all along.
Then Layla shouldn't exist. But anyway.
That's a good point, yeah.
It's just a bard I really worship.
It's just a name for, like, debauchery when you want something
Yeah.
a little bit more discreet than debauchery.
No, it's obviously not the same well.
Pallas will put their hand on the jar the same way Adelaide did, I guess, and
What nightmare are you sharing? What fear?
Well, one of her fears is more abstract, as in hasn't actually experienced it, so to make it as real as possible, probably, again, being paralyzed.
Yeah.
Just to have something more concrete versus I'm afraid of this thing in the abstract, but has never happened.
That's fair. Yeah, it's a truly, again, it is feeling like you are paralyzed in that moment.
Nope.
Like, yes, you could physically move your body, but mentally you are paralyzed because it needs to be real. And eventually that feeling fades and you see a new black wave in the jar.
As soon as it fades, she's like, right.
Adelaide kind of puts a hand on you.
Gives a pat back to her. Thank you. Desire, Buck?
I can do this.
Kind of gives his hand a little squeeze.
I'll be back.
I know you will, darling.
Gives a stupid little smile.
That does make her smile for the first time since all this shit started happening.
What fear?
Well, he's like, let's start with our let's just be the easy one, the eating alone. And it's like his mind just moves on to someone getting hurt because of his own curiosity or him not paying attention. But then that someone becomes Desire. And then it leads into Desire leaving him behind.
So you just decided to go for the whammy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
A lot of that was due
feels-
for the fact because of the whispering, because we hear it on the other side when we're over there. So he heard whenever you left someone behind, so now he's getting freaked out over that.
Oh,
Poor buddies.
Yeah, so yeah.
But yeah, it suddenly all feels very real. Like when you come back to yourself, you could have sworn that actually just happened. But there is a new black wave, and you turn around, and Desire is there. And
He can't look you in the eye right now. He's a little too scared now.
I think Pallas will give him a quick little hug when he comes back.
he tries to give a little smile, but there...
Just kind of reaches over to give him another little squeeze. Just a
There's
gentle
that
reassurance.
hesitation there for a moment.
Aw.
She's definitely concerned at that because you have never been hesitant towards her ever.
Nope.
Desire, you're up.
Yeah, she steps forward and it's gonna be kind of column A, column B on the claustrophobia and the bugs again because she probably relives sort of the instance that kind of triggered those fears of one of her earliest adventures going out on maybe not her own but with a small party and like basically getting trapped in this little cave like this, but there was a crumbling down and her path got blocked and then she was just in this small little enclosed space almost in complete pitch dark and all she could really feel were the occasional little bugs crawling over her until her party could get her back out. And yeah, back to straight up not having a good time, bro.
And when you come back to yourself, there's a new little wave in the
Pallas will also give Desire a hug unless she immediately goes and rushes into Bo's arm or something.
She will accept the hug from Pallas, and this time there probably is like a tear down her face that she kind of wipes away.
That's
gives
right, sweetie.
gives a hug, and then yeah, after the hesitancy is worried, but kind of leans into Buck.
You'll lean back into it. It's still that fear is still there, but he's calming down.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you. Kind of goes over to the nest, and then she does pop her head out. The nest, by the way, this alcove, has been hollowed out slightly, dug into the earth to create a small burrow. Stone coffin lids prop up the sticky mud walls, bones protruding from the muck at unpleasant angles.
Lovely.
She does pop her head out and goes, "You're not allowed in here.
That's fine.
It's my stuff." But she does come out where the stone is. It's a memorial stone, just like kind of like an idol size, not super big, but a decent size. And she comes up and it kind of looks clear. You can't really tell what's special about it, but you have to assume something maybe when you put it on. Either way, it's special to Adelaide.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So she...
The hag?
Yes, she comes up, she gives it to Adelaide and goes, "Okay, Now, I won't bother you, and you won't bother me. I have a very good dinner to go to, and
Enjoy. Really, really, like, half-hearted, a little broken. Just enjoy.
and then she just disappears.
All right.
Adelaide does go, thank you for doing that.
Of course.
You're welcome.
And you head to the northern alcove. It contains a small makeshift shrine that appears to have been recently vandalized. A low shelf of wax candles melted down to nothing is laid out on top of a broken coffin lid. There is empty space where something once stood, a stone or an idol of some sort. But as she takes it and places it back where it belongs, a whisper low and barely audible surrounds you all as a faint breeze drifts through the room. The surface of the memorial stone flickers slightly, and curling, glowing elvish runes appear on its surface. And Adelaide smiles very sadly, and she reads off the words as they appear. And I'm gonna do my best here because they actually wrote the Elvish. Ag kumehanan a yaniv ludon lithmo kole gofole. And after a bit, she goes, remembering Yaniv, half my heart lies with her still. And she kind of clears her throat and then turns to you all and goes, could I have some privacy to talk with Yaniv? You perhaps can set up camp.
Of course. Desire does dig into her pack and pulls out a couple of candles and a couple incense to offer to Adelaide as well.
She looks very grateful, and
especially having seen them being burnt out. It's like, here's at least a couple fresh ones. Probably gives her like 4 of the 10 she has.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then a stick of incense or 2 if she wants to kind of do all that.
And she greatly appreciates that. Thank you.
Of course. The only meaningful offering that Buck can give is like a small pile of some of the spices.
Mm-hmm. Pallas, it doesn't really have anything physical meaningful, but she will say like a small prayer.
Yeah.
You know, heartfelt of, this is not her lost love, but she has experienced loss and knows what it's like, and, you know, just something to that regard.
Yeah, I think Desire also says a quick little prayer to Layla of just like watch over the soul on the other side.
Yeah.
And then, fine, leaving Adelaide.
Yeah. And if one of you wants to keep like in the area,
I was about to say,
go up to...
I don't know if it's go up entirely, but at least one of us needs to be in the next room, kind of in the doorway, just to keep an eye.
That's what Pallas was going to suggest. Like, one of us should stay here, and the other 2 can go back up.
So I can help Desire through the passageway, and we can get stuff set up.
All right.
He can get stuff set up.
Yeah. The whispers are still prevalent, but now that Grimelda is not actively trying to fuck with you all, there are no personal call-out whispers anymore.
Oh, good.
That's good. Now it's just the tight space I have to deal with. Fantastic.
Given that, I mean, you can still make a resist fear check if you won't, but there won't really be more
consequences.
Checks.
Yeah.
But yes, it takes some time.
Yeah, didn't have too much reliving. She rolled a 2, so that's an 8. Reliving the first time she truly got trapped and then going back through it, she's straight up not having a good time. So probably does, unfortunately, but not unfortunately because Buck's used to it, just sit on a boulder or stone or something while Buck gets camp set up.
We'll get the camp set up. We'll get your spot set up. You'll get some kind of food thing getting her going.
Get her some warm tea.
Yeah. Snack and a warm beverage.
He probably has like a portable like pot thing that he can put together.
Of course.
Get some fire going, get some food cooking, definitely some tea.
Thank you, darling.
Adelaide keeps a good amount of time.
Yeah.
She knows this is the last time she's going to be
Here.
feasibly able to make this trip.
Pallas is in no rush. He will wait patiently.
But eventually she comes, she gives you a nod, and you all head back up. Camping in the crypt isn't exactly pleasant. It's, even with the fire and stuff, it's pretty cold. There's still the little bit of whisper. You said you guys...
Do a watch.
Do a watch. You do see before Adelaide goes to bed, once again, takes the sending stone, then lays down. What's the watch like?
Pallas is okay going first.
I can go second or third.
Desire's also fine going second or third.
Or I can go second and third.
No, you need to sleep, dear.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to make the choice since everyone's
No,
fine.
that's fair.
Pallas, Desire, Bo.
That's
okay.
fine.
Okay, give me perception checks. One at a time.
14.
Cody, what did you get?
19.
25.
Holy shit.
He's a perceptive boy.
Okay. So, Pallas, you're first. You kind of glance over at the sleeping form of Adelaide, and for just a moment, you could swear you see another figure there sitting by her side. A feminine figure in flowing robes with a tangle of spectral curls hiding a solemn face. One hand of the figure gently rests on the shoulder of the sleeping elder. She looks up at this point, looks at you, and when you blink, she is no longer there.
I feel like she would have given a slight nod to the figure.
And with your guys' checks, in your watches, both Bo and Desire, you do get glimpses of Yaniv sitting by the whole night with Adelaide. You just are not always fully seeing her.
I'm gonna say same thing, like, tip of the hat type thing. Like,
Yeah, her stare is rather blank, but
Ghost.
Yeah, it's a ghost. The most emotion that it has on it is when she is looking at Adelaide.
Pallas would have warned first Desire, who hopefully pass it on to Buck, but about the figure, but does not seem to be a threat or anything. So,
could you imagine if one of us chose one of our fears to be ghosts?
Would have low-key been hilarious. It's like, wow, this is a beautiful moment, but I'm straight up not having a good time.
you see a ghostly figure, I throw something at it.
Fireball!
Fucking bow and arrow. It's Adelaide. Well, stay here with her. Let's go, guys.
And I'll say, Bo, with being the last watch, you kind of watch in the night. You glance over, you see who you assume is Yaniv's ghost. And you also see that Adelaide, it almost seems like her breathing's a little bit weaker. And then Yaniv kind of looks down, puts a hand, and she seems a little bit breathing a little easier. You don't know if it was nightmares or what it was, but...
Gotcha. And that's why Buck is always up and ready and got food, everything ready. He always takes the last watch.
That's fair, yeah. So he could be up early and have that all going, so once everyone's awake, they're just ready to go.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Okay. Well, that is the end of the second love, the second goodbye. We're going to take a small little break, and then
Right back at it again.
right back at it in the morning.
Woo. Hey guys, we wouldn't be able to do this podcast without the support of our listeners. If you'd like to support us even more, you should head over to Patreon and check us out there at patreon.com/rollforfocuspodcast. You'll get all kinds of cool stuff like our hyperfocus episodes that release on our off weeks, where we talk about the episode and our thoughts and predictions about the future of the show. Us playing games in and out of character. You can suggest an NPC or a magic item for Emery to give us in the world. There's some fun canon-adjacent shenanigans and backstory info you can find. And we have 2 mini campaigns running. For patients and higher tiers, we have our first side tangent campaign called The Pilgrimage. Emery and I are running a Tales of the Valiant game where a Beastkin war cleric of the trickster god Nakresh is on her very first official pilgrimage. What could go wrong? And Play to Your U tier gets our first off-topic campaign called Clean Slate. It's a quote-unquote blank sheet D&D campaign. What does that mean? You'll have to listen to find out. And we're enacting our very first Patreon stretch goal. When we get to 50 paid tier patrons, Emery is going to run a one-shot where we play a group of adventurers that run into the ancestors before they became the world-saving heroes we know now. Even more fun, patrons will be able to pitch character concepts we'll choose from to build our one-shot characters. You can join for as little as $1 a month, and every dollar we make goes right back into producing our podcast with the hopes we can improve and make it everything our listeners deserve. Thanks! Do you want a shirt or a poster with your favorite Ouroboros boy on it? Maybe a mug with the Ouroboros symbol? Your very own special depression blanket? Maybe a journal with Thiel's Magpie Shop logo? We have all of that and so much more in our merch store. You can find it at ttrpgswag.com/pages/roll4focus. 50% of all profits go straight to us, and 50% go to TTRPG Swag for hosting and helping. Make sure to check it out.
Welcome back.
Woo!
Hope you had a good break.
So yes, you all wake up in the morning. Go ahead and could you all give me perception checks?
Maybe.
Dice.
That's cocked. Speaking of cocks.
No! 6!
13.
21.
Good lord.
Makes sense. He's the most awake.
Yeah.
Where are my glasses? I can't see without my glasses.
Yeah, everyone's just kind of waking up in the morning. Bo, you kind of look at Lady Adelaide, and you've noticed little things, like you knew she was dying, but she didn't make it sound like...
This instant.
Yeah, I'm on the precipice. You kind of notice as she's waking up, she looks very groggy, very slow. Like, she's still keeping up appearance, but with that perception, you're, like, seeing there's, like, a slight shake to the hand as she drinks, and she's looking quite weak.
She's gonna die on us.
She is, yeah. That's why we're gonna cry. We just traveled this woman. She's gonna die in the end.
But, yes, I'm assuming you make breakfast and snacks.
Yep, the snacks get passed out. The 2 other ones that I've given you, again, they
Yeah.
kaput after a
But
day.
they're still delicious, I'm
I was
sure.
about to say, I think it's just, we just, since we don't actively need them, we snack on them through the day. It's fine.
Yeah.
Take a little breather, have a little snack.
They give temporary hit points. They haven't really mattered.
Yeah.
If you give Pallas, like, nuts, we'll love it.
I've got almonds. We got almonds.
We all have chocolate covered almonds.
The sugar-coated
The
almonds.
sugar-coated almonds, yeah.
She would have eaten those, like, right away. Those are gone.
Yeah. He was going to plan on putting them to some kind of, like, dessert or something. But if you just want the almonds, he can give you the almonds.
It more so if you make anything with, like, give her nuts.
Okay, yeah. So it's literally, like, whenever he's given something, he views it more as an ingredient than an actual, like, oh, I can eat this now.
Nah.
But, yes, eventually, once everything's packed up, Adelaide takes out her final... Well, no, she does have one more to get home.
Yeah.
She takes out the final not get home teleportation scroll and goes, are we ready?
Yes. ma'am.
Yes.
Of course. Are you?
Of course. Last stop. She takes it, and you guys appear in very thick woods.
I am all powerful again. I was really afraid my terrain wouldn't come in handy.
And yes, you travel. There's no getting lost. It's a decent trek. Adelaide has led you back into the woods amongst tall evergreen trees. The piled snow forming a natural corridor between the dark shape of a small cottage in the distance. And as you're walking, she explains to you that it's the cabin where she and her very first love, Thera, lived together. And she left Thera to go adventuring.
Aww.
And as you're traveling, once you get a little closer to the cottage, beside you, Adelaide just coughs suddenly into a big fit, and she falls to her knees.
I would go
Catch her.
catch her before that
Catch her,
happens.
yeah. Adelaide, are you all right?
Oh, I'm okay. The teleportation must have taken it out of me. We've been...
Yeah, it's not gonna do a lot, but Desire will cast a quick healing word.
I was about to
on
do
her.
lay on hands.
I could also do cure wounds.
yeah.
Everyone's just like, heal!
Yeah.
Just last a little longer!
She's like, I need to make it to the cabin.
We'll get you there.
She is going to need to be supported
I can just pick her up if she wants.
Yeah, anyone with a strength of 10 or higher can support her.
I have a 9.
Yeah.
Either of us can.
I
Pallas can't, but...
Again,
She
Buck
wouldn't-
is 100%.
She doesn't really want to be scooped, so if anything, maybe the two of you on
Yeah.
either side. And it's not that far away, but she is progressively getting... Like, she clearly has been doing something to probably keep herself afloat, but the I'm going to die soon and someday you realize was, these are my last days and I know it.
Yeah. Lay on hands, I can cure a disease or neutralize a poison.
Yeah.
Can I do something to kind of help boost her with that?
I'll say what you can do is because...
Old age isn't a disease.
No.
But I'll say that she's a little more cognizant than the adventure maybe would have said she is at this moment.
Okay.
But she's just like, I have to go. This is like kind of to herself, but kind of to Desire as well, because I think because she knows you follow Layla, who is
The goddess of painful love.
a painful love. She goes, my greatest regret. I need to be able to return home to Thera. I need
get
to
you-
see her.
We'll get you there, I promise. I swear on Layla, we will get you to that cabin.
Not far now, just we'll be there shortly.
And
We've gotcha.
it's probably more flavor than anything, but in that vein, let me look at a thing. As I'm already crying. Gets enhance ability bears endurance cast on her to give her advantage on constitution checks, but like kind of bolster her constitution a little
Yeah.
bit as well.
And you guys, the end of the trail leads to what was once a cozy, picturesque cottage overlooking an open stretch of hillside to a vast river below. Now it lies dark and long empty. A wild, untamed garden stretches around the exterior, narrowing to a small natural glade where a small gravestone sits, and Adelaide sobs and goes, "Too late. I came home too late." And she just starts sobbing as I'm assuming you try and get her closer to the gravestone.
Yeah.
It's let her start to basically collapse. I'm sure at this point, Buck and Desire are both basically dragging her.
Carrying her.
Yeah. The name Thera Oakfield is etched on the gravestone. I'm sure no one's poking about the cottage
No.
or anything
No,
at this
absolutely
point.
not.
But everything here, it doesn't look like it's clearly been abandoned, but like there's no sign of like the cabin having been broken into or anything like that. So at least her old home is not like defiled.
Yeah.
And as Adelaide kind of drops next to the
It's like there's no drops. We will gently set her down so she can kneel in front of him.
Yeah, and then Adelaide collapses. And as she's crying, go ahead and make me medicine checks.
Oh. Why are you so mean to me, Dice? I got a 7.
The DC is 8.
11.
9. I was surprised. Yeah.
Bars past 2.
Desire and Bo, this woman has an hour left to live.
Fuck.
So yeah, she's completely out of it now. And after a moment, a spirit appears next to Adelaide. The spirit smiles at you all sadly, then descends to one knee next to Adelaide and kisses her on the forehead. Looking up with pleading eyes, she gestures towards the river at the foot of the hill. And for a brief second, you receive a vision of a flower, a cold, fragile white bloom, followed by a sense of urgency. The spirit stares at you with the faintest glimmer of hope. And you are welcome to make a nature check.
I can do that.
Sure, I'll give it a try. Oh!
10.
I got a nat 20 for a 22.
That's my boy. I got a 21.
Pallas and Bo, that small flash of the flower is enough for you to know that this flower is called a life bloom. It's a rare magical flower which can be mixed with water to create a revitalizing liquid that has restorative properties. So the two of you see that and you know what the spirit is asking. You can see the hope and the desperation and kind of
I just don't know what to do with it.
But you're just like, oh, what?
Before anything else, with the nature check, do I know how long that like restorative power, like, does it just like, oh, you get to live another 100 years, or is it, oh, you know, it just gives you some more time?
It'd probably give Adelaide about another year. With a nat 20, it'd give her another year, give or take.
If that's what she wants.
But isn't she unconscious?
She's unconscious currently, yes.
I'll take her inside if you two want to go after the flower.
I'm not going to be nearly as fast as you, Buck, but yes, if you think you can get her inside.
I should be able to, yes. Kind of gathers her up to get her inside, because we're not going to sit in the cold graveyard for however long.
I would say I can help you get her to that, and then we can make our way.
Pallas would start making to the river if you want to help.
Yeah, and then I can run after you.
Yeah.
All right. The river is dangerously swollen and covered with scattered patches of ice. Near the middle sits a small raised islet, a thin stripe of thin land where half a dozen shimmering white flowers bloom. Clearly the life bloom you are looking for.
Of course, I took myself out of this when I could just give myself wings and go fly to it.
I can glide. I can hop and glide.
But yes, it even says, if no magical alternative is available, that means swimming through the ice-cold water. And that will be a DC 16 Constitution saving throw, or you'll just sustain 2d6 cold damage.
Can I not glide over there?
Oh, you can't. I'm just telling you if you...
What is it? What's keeping us from...
It's basically a frozen river between us and a little island in the middle that has the flower.
You have to do the polar plunge.
And that's not fun. Your muscles will lock up and you could easily drown.
I can do this.
Buck, I can glide over there, don't worry.
I will say, with your nature, these flowers are very delicate, especially given the time of year it is. They will not survive like a swim back, so you will have to transport them more safely, but with your gliding, you'll just have to be very careful unless you want to mix the solution here, but that'll be risky.
Yeah.
But you have 6 flowers here, 6 chances to make the
liquid. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Pallas is gonna take back up a little bit, do a short run. Probably looks hilarious.
I was say, if you want to do the whole thing, he can put his hands down and give you some more height by throwing you up into the air.
Give you a little boost.
Yeah.
That'd probably be helpful too, honestly. And then, spread her wings and glide over there to land on the island, making sure, hopefully, not to crush any flowers when she lands. Yes. They don't want to do that.
With your gliding, it's rather easy. I'm assuming you take the time to be able to properly...
Yeah, I mean, not like leisurely, but yes, knowing that how delicate these flowers are, not going to be rushing and damaging them.
And then you glide back, and you can safely bring it back to where Desire is in the
cabin.
Thera's ghost is with you. She seems unable to speak, but you can see the worry. She's gesturing to a table that has an herbalism kit, like kind of like this is a good place you can like hear, like trying to communicate with you of like, and then starts miming like, I can show you.
We'll need to wait for Bo and Pallas to get back. You'll probably need to show Bo how to do all of this, but I can help. Kind of after making sure that Adelaide was like resting in the bed on the couch on something like supported, covered up, but following Thera's spirit around, kind of like vocalizing what she's trying to show her to make sure she's understanding.
Yeah.
To kind of, okay, here's how we're communicating. I can at least be the communication between you and Buck if need be.
Yeah. And it's very much she's miming, and like you'll say what you think she means and she'll not. So you start building that rapport as Buck and Pallas return.
All right, I've got Styx flowers here.
All right. There's an herbalism setup over here. Thera's going to show us what we need to do to mix the solution. She and I have been communicating while
Perfect.
you have been gone, so I'm sort of learning how she's saying things.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, we'll go over to the table with the flowers and stuff. Is that something Buck wants to do?
I mean, it's like cooking, right?
It can
Sarah
be.
kind of looks at you like,
He's not proficient in like herbalism tools or medicine or anything like that.
with Thera's help. So if you were to do this will fail, however, unless the creature, a 1 in 6 chance that this will fail unless the creature attempting this has an herbalism kit or is experienced. But if you return it to Thera, she will guide you how to mix it safely. No need to roll.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he's nervous to fail, but like if he's being told how to do it,
Especially because you guys took all the flowers, you have chances. Which, fun thing, if the correct method is used, a petal dropped into an existing healing potion will enhance the potion, increasing its potency by 1 step. Example, a regular healing potion becomes a greater healing potion.
Cool.
But that's obviously not what she's teaching you right now.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's just how to distill these flowers into this life-saving
Yeah.
concoction.
Yeah.
And it takes some time, but you do get it. By the time that happens, Adelaide, you do start hearing some noises. Adelaide is so weak, but she is coming to, and Thera's right there and like gesturing like give it to her. Adelaide's like, what has happened? Thera.
She's giving us a way to give you more time.
She kind of looks and Thera's nodding urgently, and Adelaide goes, No, I want the plan. I'm sorry for deceiving you, but the plan was always to get here and die with Thera. It was to spend my last days here. I thought I might have more than a few days, but no. And Thera is like sobbing. She's shaking her head. She's like trying to grasp at the solution you've made, but she can't interact with it, but she's trying to grab it to put it, to make Adelaide drink it. Mm-hmm. So this is your choice: to help Thera, who is desperate but unable to make her, or obey Adelaide, who she's like, I'm your employer, I'm giving you an order, consider this an order. If a dying woman's last wish isn't enough to obey.
I mean, it doesn't have to be even the employer. It is.
It's her wish on how she wants to go
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
so yeah, we can't force a dying woman to
Yeah.
live.
So it's one of those things. Pallas looks very, very sad and kind of looks over at Thera like, it's her choice.
Yeah.
Thera's just sobbing and shaking her head, and like you can see, like she can't speak, but she's trying to convince Adelaide, and Adelaide just shakes her head and reaches out and goes, There's nowhere I'd want to end my life but here. Don't make me make the trip again. and they both just start crying, and she's like, if you wouldn't mind giving me time and just letting me go, and if it wouldn't be too much, if you could bury me, I would appreciate that. Next to Thera.
Yeah, I think
course.
Desire does have like wet eyes just like I do right now.
Same.
Already. But she just kind of like grasps her holy symbol and gives a small nod. It's like, of course,
I think Pallas will take a moment to make Adelaide a little more comfortable, make sure she's,
Yeah.
comfortable, but then, yes, give her the moment of it.
Did we use all the flowers? No. I would like to collect the seeds from those and bury those around the grave as well. I'm gonna make myself cry.
But yeah, it's just...
Yeah, if anything, as you wait for her to pet, that's a good time to start digging.
Yeah.
squeezes her hand before and...
Thank you.
Kind of also takes a moment, kind of gives Thera a small, like, almost apologetic nod, and then gives Adelaide's hands a small squeeze. And
Yeah. She does seem to accept it. You can almost see a fond but distraught look, just like you're as stubborn as ever sort of look.
Yeah.
And she just nods. She goes, thank you all for giving me a good last 3 days and helping me make things right where I needed to make it right, and
Is there anything else you'd like us to do? Bring back
live well.
smiles.
Don't let yourself regret like I did.
Desire gives a very small smile and just, we were very honored to accompany you during your last days, Lady Adelaide.
You were all a pleasure to meet.
Kind of bows her head to press a kiss to her knuckles
Yeah.
before pulling away and making her way outside. Probably gives Buck just a giant fucking hug the minute they're outside, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've been bonding with this woman, and like, while she wasn't like the most open, she was an incredible woman. She was a nice woman to get to know, and
And being trusted with these very intimate last moments of her life.
yeah, that's gonna bond you to someone, even if she never said a word to you. Seeing her wanting to,
Reconnect and right past wrongs before she passed, and seeing how much she clearly cared about these three women.
yeah. And you guys go out. You
Start digging?
Yeah,
I mean, I can dig.
Desire will get her hands dirty for this.
right next to Thera, as it should be.
While they're digging, Pallas is going to look for something for a headstone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Desire was considering something for that as well. She just hadn't gotten anywhere with
I
that
feel
yet.
like you at least find like a good-sized rock that if you take the time while
Yeah.
they're digging to chisel, like Adelaide and
Yeah. Because her strength is not great. She's got a 9, so leaving the stronger people to dig, but I can at least scout out the rock and start making the method and everything.
But yes, you let Lady Adelaide have her final moments. You know how long she has. By the time you finish up, you go in and you see that she must have had enough strength just barely. You don't see Thera.
Yeah.
Just there, barely. You see her satchel, and it's on top of a neatly folded note written in very shaky handwriting, and it simply has sincere thanks for everything and instructions to use the last teleportation scroll to go back to her homestead and to talk to Barnaby about your reward, and you will be given it. And you all lay her to rest. Are any words said?
Yes, I think Desire does say a few words, but also give one final prayer to Layla of watch over these two lovers in their afterlife. May they be blessed in your domain, basically.
Yeah.
Because they are very much a almost symbol of that painful love, of that love and lost, and almost two ships crossing in the night on the reuniting, so it just hits home for Desire really hard.
Yeah. a prayer too from Pallas, and I think she'd recite a poem about love. You know, the kind of the how, you know, loving and losing, but continuing to love is, you know, the most important thing, and sharing your heart with somebody or multiple somebodies.
Say Buck takes the remaining flowers and places them on their graves. He doesn't say anything, but you know.
The symbol is enough.
Yeah.
You have those moments, and after a bit, you take the teleportation scroll and get ready to leave. And as you leave, you see over the graves Adelaide, as she must have looked decades ago, embracing Thera, standing amongst what seems to be what was once a flower bed of roses. Both look towards you in unison, enormous gratitude in their eyes as both the figures and the floral cottage fades away.
Oh.
You promised we'd cry, and I'm crying.
I'm fine. What are you talking about?
You all appear in Adelaide's manor, Barnaby is there and has the awaited reward of 150 gold each, and is smiling at you and goes, but my lady has more than this for you all.
Oh?
During your journey, she communicated with me often. She told me not to take it personally, but she was judging you the entire time. Lady,
I would be upset if she wasn't, honestly.
Lady Adelaide rewrote her will in the last few days. First, an extra payment for each of you of 500 gold pieces.
Oh my.
Wow.
She also picked items for each of you that she thought represented you all. She does apologize if they do not suit you as much as she thought. She did only have 3 days to get to know you.
And she did have her focuses somewhat more elsewhere.
Yes. For you, Pallas, she left you this, hands you an amulet, can tell that you're quite devout to your oath, and wanted to give you this. It's an amulet of the devout.
Oh. Well, how very kind of her.
And also this. She said that she can tell when someone respects the past as much as she does. She said perhaps because we were two old birds. And he hands you a mirror of the past.
Oh. Oh, well. Lady Adelaide is too far generous for...
And Beau. She thought you would have fun with this, and hands you a bag of beans. Those aren't for cooking. They have interesting magical effects.
Oh, fun.
She also left you this. She said that you're one of the most loyal people she's ever met, and you deserve a loyal friend of your own. And it is the onyx dog figurine of wondrous power. And for you, Desire, she thought you should have an upgrade of armor.
Oh.
You get glamored studded leather.
Amazing.
It may not be the most protective, but she assured me you would appreciate being able to accessorize.
Well, it was already an upgrade from what I have being studded, but yes, absolutely.
And lastly, for you, she says she knows you're plenty charming on your own, but has a staff of charming for you. And you must have very much impressed her, because she did leave one final thing to you. She has gifted you one of her smaller properties.
Oh.
It's a small fortified manor house and the location not too far from here. It's been mostly abandoned for some years and perhaps will need some touching up, but I am happy to lend you some assistance on that, at least with contacts and whatnot. But she thinks it will be a good base for all of you. I did inform her that Pallas was not before your party, but she says that perhaps Pallas, having you around, will keep these two young ones safe.
Out of trouble a little bit.
Oh, but trouble's half the fun, Pallas, dear.
I know, but I'll be there just to fish you back out if it gets too deep.
She knows you, like her, have mostly retired from your adventuring days, but sometimes, in her words, old dogs do enjoy doing their old tricks.
I hadn't heard that turn of phrase before, but I agree, yes. Sad as this ended, I am so happy to have been there with her and to have been there with you two as well.
Yes.
You earned a great deal of respect from her. Most of everything else is being split among charities and the like, but
Of course.
she thought you would all enjoy these. She did say if you didn't like her gifts, you're welcome to pick over some of the others, but why would you want to do that? It would lose the sentiment, she said.
Absolutely lose the sentiment. These will be cherished no matter what, yes.
Very wise lady.
Gives you a nod and goes, if you have time, I can lead you to your new estate. It's in all of your names already. She had me take care of all the paperwork. I'm very efficient.
You and her both, really.
To be fair, she had it already drawn up.
Just needed the names to put in place.
Yes. She wanted to help inspire the next generation of adventurers.
I think she's inspired many adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
He nods and begins to lead you to your new estate if you are willing to have that time be now.
No, yeah.
And
Desire's fine with that.
Yeah.
the camera pulls out as you all get into a carriage to start not quite a new life, but another chapter. Life being all the bit better for having known this woman for even just a short amount of time.
I will say, before the camera pans out entirely, there's one last thing Desire wants to do.
Oh?
There's enough things Pallas wants to do, too.
Tell me before it does, as the credits roll and we get little...
They get out of the carriage at the new place. Desire grabs Buck's shirt and pulls him into a kiss.
I would say the moment that it ends, he goes, "I love you."
Tuck that,
Don't live with her, or don't have any regrets.
regrets, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What would Pallas like to do on the heels of all of that?
This is definitely when credits are rolling and the scene pops over. She sticks her head in the library. Samantha, I'm going to need to use more of my PTO.
Oh, wonderful.
You know I have plenty.
That is where we end this lovely adventure. There are some author notes here, and I'd love to read that. For this adventure, I wanted to try to tackle the subject matter from an angle I don't see in a lot of adventures in general, via the lens of loss and old age, with an individual looking for closure and maybe a little redemption while reconnecting with former lovers, perhaps finding some degree of peace and companionship by the end. Plus, sneaking in both a party scene and a little horror and spooky goings-on into the mix. It was a challenge to balance this to provide both an interesting story that still had enough player autonomy to keep things interesting. I hope you enjoyed Lady Adelaide's journey.
We did.
It was so good.
It was good. Feels a little sacrilegious. We ended our Pride one-shot with a straight passing couple. They were both supposed to be gay, and then the other happened.
Just in here, they also have a little bit of an author bio, and I think giving all the shout outs to Saga here. This was a beautiful adventure.
It really was.
Yeah. So here it says Saga is a queer trans fantasy cartographer, illustrator, and occasional writer of adventures based in the Highlands of Scotland. As well as habitually adding sad ghosts to her adventures, she is obsessed with ghost stories, cosmic horror, and pathos. In addition to being a gold best-selling adventure writer, her cartography appears in such productions as Dreadful Realms, Caverns of the Wise Minster, and Erilyn's Stolen Notes to Vela.
Dope.
You can keep up to date with her latest progresses on Twitter. This was a while ago, but hopefully this is still her info. We will both put the link to this bundle, but also Saga. We will find her socials.
Hopefully, if not on Twitter, a link to something pointed
Yeah,
from Twitter.
we will do our best to find Saga herself as well, because this was a beautiful adventure.
And And we will also link to the Queero books that we took all of our subclass stuff out of as well.
Yes. I know there wasn't much of... I don't think I rolled my dice. I think I rolled my dice twice. But it was a beautiful adventure. You avoided the one possible fight.
Fortunately, we do not tend to make murder hobos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the few that might also think twice.
But this was... thank you all three of you for having this. This was a lovely one-shot.
It really was.
It was.
It was really
It
good,
was
yeah.
a beautiful story, and each section had a nice variety of things to do. We had the tasks in the one, sort of just skill checks in the second with a potential for combat, and then just a lot of really emotionally driven story for the last one. So it was a nice variety of things to do. It was a beautiful story to tell and participate in, and yes, we all cried like you promised we would.
Again, thank you. We're probably going to want to play more of these one-shots. This compendium came with 7 adventures that explore the joy of queer love in very different ways. This one, I think we can safely say, while it was sad, it was an expression of that queer love and the joy you find in it And again, like they said, I appreciated that it came from like an end of life thing. That's not a lot of... You don't see the end of love stories.
No.
And if you do, it's more the gone too soons, not the full life view. We don't see enough older queers.
No.
And I love that there was the multiple of, yes, I had more than one great loves in my life that were all meaningful to me.
Yeah, like Thera was her first love and her biggest regret was leaving Thera, but that doesn't mean that she loved Magda or Yavin any less.
Yeah.
Just like, Thera was like the love, but that does not negate.
The other loves.
Yeah.
Did not make them less important.
Yeah.
No. And just beautiful. You guys were beautiful to watch play. I'm gonna go cry. Thank you all so much for joining us. But again, happy Pride Month. Shout out to the gays. We hope you had just as much fun listening or crying as we had playing and crying. And remember,
Play to your you. Bye.
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride.
Thanks for listening.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of all things TTRPG related, which I know you are because you're listening to us, you should go check out Crescent Moon Alchemy Co. Michaela and Ryan put all their love into their products, and a portion of each order goes to help support green initiatives. They've got a bunch of cool stuff like potion bottle dice rollers, fidgets, shirts, mugs, and an amazing backpack with more than enough room for all your adventuring gear, and so much more. We're super excited to be ambassadors for them. So go to crescentmoonalchemyco.com/RFF15 and use code RFF15 for 15% off your first order. Thank you for listening to our special Pride one-shot of Roll for Focus. We've been playing All the Last Goodbyes by Saga McKenzie out of the What a Lovely Adventure anthology. Links can be found in the episode description. If you enjoyed it, make sure you rate and review us wherever you listen. Episodes are edited and transcribed by the Roll for Focus team. Background music is by Ben McElroy on upbeat.io. You can visit us at rollforfocus.com, check out all of our socials in our link tree, and a reminder that half of our profits of the month and any extra donations we receive this month will be donated to the Transgender Education Network of Texas. So check out our merch at ttrpgswag.com/pages/rollforfocus, donate to our Ko-fi, or join our Patreon. Or feel free to go to transtexas.org and donate directly to them. Remember to tell your queer loved ones you love them. The first Pride was a riot. Our existence is revolutionary. Happy Pride, everyone.
Hey everyone, thank you all so much for all the support you give. We especially want to thank our patrons, like those who have found enlightenment and know that it's best to play to your you, like Luchik and MN House of Cats. Thank you guys so much. We couldn't do this without you.